welcome back to the channel. So I had made a video where I was recording some more oohs, the little low harmony, and unfortunately the camera, when I got here, it was two nights ago. I'd always shot with this camera. It's a G7, the Panasonic Lumix G7, and I always used the camera in the movie mode, mainly because I used the camera as a movie camera. And I've had real film cameras in my life. I've got Leica cameras, and I had at one point when I was making movies, I had an Arriflex Super 16 reel film camera. You know, it was like a for reals movie camera. And I knew how to load that camera. I did not know how to, I wasn't good enough to shoot a film with it, but I knew how to use it. And I knew how to use film cameras, and I understood, you know, basic photography. But sometimes with the digital ones, sort of like the Zoom, I'll just get on a path with them and not think about how to use them really. I'll just, you know, I won't dig into the manual enough and all that kind of thing. So I didn't realize all this time that I could shoot video in the other modes. You just have to use another slightly different way of doing it. So luckily I was able to make a video tonight, even though I did not capture those performances. It's nothing exciting. It was just I decided to do a third round of oohs. Because usually what happens is I'll do, whenever I do oohs, like some kind of ooh type of thing where I'm just making a ooh noise, I'll double it. But then I remembered from my other record, the debut Dynamite Death Chair record, Die Some, I always did them 3 times. I don't know why. It puts a little more air in it. You know, it makes it sound more chorusy. You know, just like there's more. I think I got the idea from watching the Jean-Luc Godard directed Symphony for the Devil. It's not Symphony for the Devil. Sympathy for the Devil. Jean-Luc Godard. And that movie was made in, like, I guess 68, 69. Documents the Beggar's Banquet recording of Sympathy of the Devil. Really amazing film. Like, these like slow tracking shots where he documents them recording that record. They have amazing clothes on. It's in this, I think it's at Abbey Road. No, it's at some other studio. They actually burned down. The movie makers burned it up while they were making the. I can't remember where they recorded that, but it's an amazing film, amazing footage. And I think I got the idea from watching that. They gather all these people around and start singing the oohs in that one. Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! All those, and they get like so many people together, and it has this kind of loose, ragged sort of, you know, cool sound because there's so many people singing. I think I got the idea for it, you know, from that. That third voice does something. You can decide. And the other thing I want to do as I play back these tracks is to make sure that those oohs sound good. I can even isolate them just to make sure, because if there's one that is off, I want to fix it this evening while I'm in here, because if I've noticed, like, if you do 2 of them, like the first one may not be perfect in the first place, but if you don't match it just right, you get this sort of oscillating waver and like a space where it's maybe off key with itself. I don't know. It just sounds like that, and then you have to go fix one. But I've noticed that the third one sort of like fixes things. It's a bit of a band-aid, like having 3 of them kind of fills in the gaps of any weirdness that could be happening with the pitch being a little off on each one and not matching just perfectly. But it also gives it that feel of more than one person doing it, which is kind of cool. Like, and live it'll be me and hopefully a couple other people singing it into the mic to give it the same feel as the recording. So here we go. I have not I wrestled with that camera yesterday, and I decided after I heard the mix and I thought it was good enough and that the main vocal was fine, you know, after retaking it, I was really happy to know that all that stuff worked. And a recap on that is I used Big Shape, but there was something about Big Shape that was just a little much, especially in the upper mids. I was getting like some interference there, which made it sound, made my voice sound a little nasally and like that tin can sound, like you're hearing too much room tone in a bad way. So I just pulled back the tone, like brought it the tone. I cut the tone in half in 2 different spaces. Let me actually go in there and look at that just to see where I did what I did and how much I did. Okay, so I'm going to go to dual mic 26 big shape, and then I'm going to go to edit. And then, like, okay, you could mess around with level. That would change things right there. You would just have a little less of it coming in. I've done that before, but I didn't do that this time. What I did is I went to the next screen over by using the arrow button to mic pre, type, vocal, tone, 6. I rolled that down to 3. I just decided to cut it in half. Then on the 3-band EQ, I increased, no, I think I left everything, no, I've made the bass 5, middle 2, treble 5, or that's what they have. So what I did was I increased the middle a little bit and dropped the treble down to 0. So I think I went to 3 on the middle and 0 on treble. Then on the next screen I took that tone down to 3, the doubling, just because I didn't want so much of that doubling sound. I was hoping that would pull some of that back, and it did. And man, now I have a custom setting I kind of like feel comfortable with, because this was my favorite setting, but I did not love that upper mid thing. So I feel like now I still have my favorite setting, but I've eliminated the one thing about it that just kept giving me fits. I think it was what killed the ribbon mic take. And I've got a couple of other vocals where I just hear something that I don't love, and I've been able to dial it out pretty well with the 3-band EQ and the zoom, you know, just like while you're in here with the pan EQ. But I would like to get it better in the first place, so there's less of that. And this, I think this vocal has it. I'll let you be the judge. And I don't know how well you can tell from, you know, this PDKV3 amp, but it's just been sitting here, and I use it for weird stuff like this. I'm glad I've never sold it, because I only paid 150 bucks for it as a little keyboard amp. It's not that loud, but it's become useful for weird junk like this, like things I don't anticipate using it for, I end up using it for. Okay, so I'm going to try to play this back. It's kind of a super rough mix, but it'll at least let me see, you know, where the song is, and you'll be able to hear that third ooh that it kind of, I don't know, I think it adds the thing that it needs to make it sound right. The other thing I was thinking is I have these guitars split out. Like what I did is I recorded a track, then I copied it, and then I put both of them 50-50. And I'm wondering, since this is mono, it's probably not the best way to play back those guitars, but I don't think it really matters. Hopefully it won't sound sucked out at home. Maybe I should just put everything down the middle. Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll go across and just make sure everything's in the center, just so it doesn't sound weird, you know, because I'm afraid that if it is panned, it's going to sound weird. And I can always go back and do this later for the main mix, but I'm putting everything back to 0. I mean back to center. Just to make sure it sounds right in here. That's the idea. Okay. Alright, well, let's see. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what happens. Okay, I left it in dual mic. That's not a good thing. Whew, I'm glad I caught that, or that would have sounded like garbage. You could tell it sounded weird. So now I'm going back to master. I'm going to edit it. Let's see where they left it. Yeah, they do all this crazy stuff where the low is 10. You know, that's way too much low. So I put the low on 5 on the compression lo-fi. Then let's see. I'm going to go back to 5 on the mids. I'm not going to push highs. I'm going to keep those at 2. The mix highs 2, that's okay. Mids, maybe I'll make those 2. And the lows 5, I'll leave it like that. I like more low in this one. Mainly because the guitar tone is really clean. So I want to emphasize the highs and lows, because I think you get heaviness out of the guitars and the bass and the drums coming together on the lows. And this, it's kind of like the way Led Zeppelin created heaviness. If you listen to Jimmy Page's guitar, it's not super distorted. You know, it's like a clean kind of Marshall tone, like a really like a 100-watt amp, like a JNP, like a super lead, something like that. I can't remember what he played. JTM maybe, the original Marshall, like 45-watt, 100-watt heads, and with a vintage Les Paul, you know, with the PAF pickups in it that only put out like, I don't know, 7K. So, you know, it's like a nice clean, not clean, Les Pauls aren't really clean, but it's not going for heavy distortion. So you get the slam from the instruments coming together, like John Paul Jones and Bonham coming down at the same time, or slightly off because they did some crazy stuff, like polyrhythmic type crazy stuff. All right, so I'm going to go gain 0, normalizer. I don't like that. It's just adding gain for no good reason. All right, so on the 3-band EQ, I'm going to go up on bass to 5, middle I'll go to, I'll just go 5 on that, and treble, let's just go 0. And I can be adjusting this as we play. I won't be able to tell from here, but just so at home you recognize that this is all infinitely adjustable. Well, not infinitely, but quite malleable. All right, here we go. I will show you what that sounds like, that track. It's the ooze, the new ooze with the Me Don't Go There low part. And I don't know if I'm going to use that every time. I might mute that on the first run. No, me don't go, we don't go there. Sounds like Human League. Super low, and that I can't say that that ooh sounded great on its own, but mixed in with the other 3, I think it's okay. Let's see it again. We don't go, we don't go there. Okay, let me make sure that one isn't screwed. You know what? I'm going to isolate the ooze. That way I can really make sure. I'm starting to wonder if one of those is off. Yeah, get that off. There. And that needs to be on. Okay, so now I should be able to isolate. The first one was okay, but I'm not sure about the second one. Red lights crowds across my eyes, and when the shine comes down, it flickers first, then it's streaming.
lost my mind. Oh, midnight's come, we don't go there. Me don't go reaching our top curtain.
Okay, I think those oohs are okay, especially if I pull the one down. You know, it doesn't have to be like super loud.
Oh, midnight's come, we don't go there. Me don't go reaching our top curtain is between us. A top curtain between.
And I was happy to know that the between was in key with the music. You can't tell right there because there's no music going, but okay. No, I thought the oohs were okay. I can hear one dies on its own. It goes. Ah. You can hear the last extending past the other two. But I think it's the latest one I did, and I'm going to pull that one down anyway, because I can infinitely adjust these vocals in post. Don't really feel like turning that mic back on again. The oohs are actually the worst part of this tune. I didn't even think about those when I was writing it, like being an annoying, because I do it a lot. I do a lot of oohing, and but for something about this one was annoying. Oh wait, there. Okay. Ooh, I hope this is in key, because I don't want to turn that mic on. Here we go. Here's the third, the last set.
Eyes. Oh, midnight's come, we don't go there. Oh,
okay, now I think it's in pitch. At home, you can probably tell quite well.
Midnight's come.
Okay, wait. Let me go back a little bit more. Here we go.
Eyes. Oh, midnight's come, we don't go there. Oh, we don't go reaching our. Midnight's come, we don't go there. We don't go reaching our.
Okay, so I think just listening to that, I think I made the decision that I'm not going to worry about retracking because I can, manipulate the volume levels. I don't think, hopefully at home, if you're listening, you'll tell me if something sounds super off. Okay, so let me just listen back one more time. I'm going to kind of just, as the song is going, I'm going to sort of try to just bring it into like a rough mix. Just make sure that I feel good about everything before I stop recording and go into, mix, master, finishing stuff. And I did do the vocal. I went and did my usual cleanup, and all I did was I amplified it by 3 dB. I did a high cut at 100, and I did 100 hertz, and I did that's it. I exported it. And on the other ones, I did the exact same thing. And I think that I'm going to leave the first low harmony off and just do the low harmony on the other two choruses. I think that it's like a subtle thing and it helps. But on the first one, I'm just going to leave it stark because it's like a mini chorus. It's a half chorus anyway. And the other choruses are double choruses. So I'll have the me don't go witching hour. Sounds like I said, it sounds like Human League or, I don't know, just like a super low harmony. Okay, so I'm going to just start this, bring everything in, and I'm going to kind of just mix it on the fly. and I'll make sure that I feel good about it before I say that I'm not going to track anymore on this tune, because tomorrow, or hopefully soon, it may not be tomorrow, but this week, I'm going to come in and play through my new song that I've just written and I've been working on. I just want to make sure the arrangement's right before I debut it and start the whole process, because I'm literally going to go right to drums and start a whole nother one up, because my goal, like I said, is to try to finish this thing up. I would like to have it completed by it would be nice to have it done by spring, but I still have to write 3 tunes, which is, decent challenge. And just as you can see, it takes a minute to record them. I don't have I only have certain amount of time every week to allot to this, so it takes a minute to get through it when you're doing the home recording thing. All right, so here we go. Starts with our guitar opener, and I've panned everything center, but in the mix. Okay, so I feel pretty that was a pretty successful recording. It wasn't different and an unusual recording for me. The tones are different, the sounds are different. I usually don't play that clean, but it just made sense for the tune because when I was originally playing it, it just didn't sound good unless it was like a clean tone. I guess because I was so used to playing it at home with just the guitar, it just sounded better when when there was more clarity. And the opening riff really needs that like round Fender tone. It just gives it like something about the pickups in that guitar, the Lawler pickups in this amp, really just, oh man, I just really enjoy the tone. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited that I was able to capture a different kind of dynamic because this tune was a little more challenging as a one-man band. A lot of times my stuff is more, I don't know, more simple, and this had kind of like, you had to sort of find the beat and stuff. So I feel excited that it came out at least as well as it did. You know, it still has a shambolic quality like all my stuff does because I'm not like a perfection player and it's just me by myself. But there's a certain level of, you know, I want it to be at least good enough so it doesn't sound ridiculous. I'm excited about the new song. I'm excited about moving on. And the next video, I'm going to talk about this mark thing on here because I've never discussed it, and it's super useful. It really helped me out with this vocal take, being able to use that feature. All right, so I'm pretty excited about this. I'm ready to move on to the next song, which is called El Dorado, and it's sort of, I think it's like a trilogy now. I think We Know Them, Witching Hour, and El Dorado just feel like a trilogy of like similar sonic attributes and very similar thematic, you know, content. All right, next time.